Welcome to the May 11th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If you'd all rise for Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to thank everybody for showing up or tuning in. A couple of announcements, or at least reminders. This Thursday evening, if you haven't seen it in the local news or around town or on the website, there will be a candidates night here Thursday evening, starting at 6. Currently, we have 3 candidates for 2 positions of the Board of Selectmen for a period of for a 3-year term. 1 candidate for Board of Selectmen for a 1-year term. 2 candidates for Road Commissioner for a 3-year term. 2 candidates for RSU 57 School Board of Directors for a 3-year term. And I believe 1 candidate for Water District, who will their election will also be held the same as ours. So Thursday evening, here you can tune in, you can come and sit, ask questions. 6 o'clock, which leads into just a reminder, we're now getting down to less than 30 days, but June 8th will be the municipal elections this year. It will be held in conjunction with the Maine's gubernatorial primary. Also, RSU 57's budget will be, the referendum piece of that budget will be voted on that evening, and there are 3 referendum questions that will be decided for the municipality for that night. So June 8th, municipal elections, which is Tuesday, and the following Saturday, which is the June 14th, 12th is the actual town meeting, and a town meeting should be in the middle school at 10 a.m. promptly. The town reports are out. They've been out for a week or so now. Anybody that cares to pick one up, there are some out in some local stores. They're available here, so feel free to pick one of those up. The warrant, which we are signing off tonight, is not part of the town report, but will be available in print form for anybody that would like to pick up a copy. What else? I think that's it. Any other announcements from the board?
I'd just like to, Nancy had some surgery this week, and let her know that we're thinking about her, and I hear she's doing well, and good luck to her husband, because she's going to be laid up for the week.
All right. No comment. The only other thing, next Monday night is the 12-town group, right?
Yes.
Meeting here. Anything else that we've got? We have no appointments, but under hearing a delegation, Dick Bateman would like to give us an update on the cable franchise talk. So, Richard, the microphone is yours.
Just an update, as I think you know that the cable TV franchise is due to expire at the end of June. There we have, and excuse me, back in March, I gave Pam, I don't know if she saw it or not, a franchise setup that was done for the whole state of Maine. It was worked out with the cable companies, the various ones, and a bunch of committee. It took about a year's effort to do this. And it was a 62-page document, believe it or not, with all the appendices. Since then, we've had several things happen. We've had 2 meetings of our committee, and worked up specifics for the individual towns. Our committee represents 6 towns in this area, including Waterboro and Buxton and Hollis, and so on. And from that meeting, I have developed another 60-some page document, which is explicit for Waterboro. And I want to just explain what the differences were very quickly. First, before I get to that, I had what is called a ride-out 2 weeks ago. I went with Mike Edgecombe of the Time Warner Cable Company, and we drove over every road in Waterboro to see what had cable and what did not. And I was impressed. Almost every road has cable in this town right now. The only place we found without it was a section of about a mile long in the middle of Middle Road for some reason. That's the only place we found. Even places like Ross Corner Road, where it became a dirt road way out, and all of Lake Arrowhead and so on, it's all covered. So that changed some of our thoughts about what we put in this contract. So we'll go on to say quickly, these are things we put in the contract that we recommend be in there. They are some things that might have to be negotiated with a cable company. The first was the length of the contract. We recommend 10 years. That's been a good number, and I think they'll buy that. Shouldn't be a problem. Performance bond. Recommended, this is for work they do and so on, to cover, that they have to have a bond to cover their work. And that was put in at $100,000. That's pretty normal. That shouldn't be a problem. The franchise fee, that was set at the maximum on the present contract at 5% of all of the gross annual revenue coming to the town, to the cable company from people in the town. That's revenue for cable. It doesn't include internet access. It doesn't include telephone that Time Warner may have, but it's just the internet. Last year, I see that the franchise fee to the town of Waterboro was over $72,000. So that's been a good source of income for the town. And so we recommend that it stay at 5%. Unfortunately, we can't go any higher. That's the maximum allowed by law. As an aside, a number of things we cannot do that are put in the federal law for the whole country, such as we can have no control over the prices that are charged or the number of stations or channels that are, that's out of our control. We put in there that we want them to continue to maintain 4 channels for educational, public access, and government. As you probably know, there are 4 now, channel 2, 4, 9, and 6. Is it 9? No, 7 and 16. And we've been a little worried about channel 16. It's not being used very much by our school administration. And I've been talking to them, but not getting very far. I think money is the problem. Originally, in the present contract, we say that if there are 20 homes or more per mile, they have to cover it with cable. We were going to recommend 10, but since we did that ride-out last week or 2 weeks ago, we decided we're going to make it universal. If there's just one little section left, we're going to say, you've got to do it for the 7 homes on that road. And say from now on, universal coverage on roads in Waterboro, which shouldn't be too difficult for them. Remain also the distance that they serve from the road. In the contract, that came from the state, it had 150 feet. We made it 300. In other words, they have to serve any home within 300 feet of the cable on the road. If you happen to live half a mile in, you're not going to get it unless you pay for extra for it. Why that 150 feet was put in there, I don't know, but it's currently 300, so we're saying you should stay at 300. That's the maximum. A non-compliance fee, if they don't comply with the regulations, the fee was recommended at a fine of $300 a day. Not included in the report is a bunch of technical data that's still being coming up, primarily the list of all of the equipment here at the school and other places. That's being developed, and that will be added afterwards. So what I'd like to do is, Pam, I got a present for you. This is revised to put Waterboro on here for all the names, and put that data in. And so, one other item, I don't know if you heard this, we're having a public hearing in Buxton on Saturday the 22nd. This is on this franchise thing for anybody in the 6 towns that wants to go to the meeting and ask any questions about the future and so on. The reason Buxton was chosen was that they have a large hall, and it was available on Saturday morning. So, 10 o'clock, I would like to see any or all of you there. Ask any questions. Do you have any questions of me?
If a home is 300 feet away,
Right.
250 feet away,
Yeah.
and they switch it to 150 feet, does that mean they don't maintain it any?
No, that would be for the future.
Okay, that's for
New-
anybody, new house.
That's right. But I say we should stay 300. We're there now.
One question. With the 4 channels that are going to remain public, I know we had had discussions before about, are they going to stay on the low end of the channels, or were they going to be moved?
We hope they stay at the low end. We're pressing for that. Whether you can fully control it or not, we don't know. There's been some places in the state where they've pushed them to higher channels so that they can reuse the low channels for more money-making schemes for them. We're aware of that. So that's something that we should resist. That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you.
How does this impact with the school on this? Because when we spoke with the school personnel regarding why they don't use the cable franchise to broadcast their meetings, was because that it basically only represented the town of Waterboro and didn't adequately represent the other members of the 6-town group that form the RSU 57 district. Is there any provision in there or any thought been given to a channel that does broadcast to those specific towns so that...
The problem is that we're dealing with Time Warner Cable, and it's a different company in Alfred. I think it's a Canada company, and it's another company in Sanford which deals with Shapley. So we have 3 different cable companies represented for RSU 57. What we've done in the past, and it worked out pretty well, was we asked them to tape the school board meetings, and then that tape was personally delivered by people in our committee to Kennebunk for Alfred and to Sanford, and asking them to put it on their stations. That kind of fell apart because too many people got involved or changing the personnel, and the offer is still there, and we've told them this. But the other thing was that in their budget they had $10,000 for a person to do this taping. We doubt that it ever exceeded 3,000 or 4,000, but that was budgeted at 10. And with this tightening of their belt, it's obvious they're not, don't have the $10,000. We did one thing, interestingly. We asked them if they'd be interested in having Time Warner Cable pay them up to $3,000 or $4,000, just to do that, recognizing that they might turn around and add 10 cents to each of our bills to pay for that. That was brought up at our last meeting, and what happened was that the representatives from Buxton and Hollis, representing Channel 6, Channel whatever, Bonnie Eagle, anyhow, station, were against it because we take care of ourselves. Why should you pay for something in RSU 57 if they can't do it themselves? So that ended in a draw, and we didn't get any place that way. So it's something we have to keep working on, and I know that I've talked to Lisa Faith, and she's been pushing some hard on it too, but it's kind of sad.
Well, the quickest way to get them to record their meetings is for the citizens of the district to say, how come they're not being, broadcasted anymore? And, and I'm not sure that there's any outcry because they're not, but.
Well, Tony Viggo is our chairman, and he's been working with them a lot, trying to anyhow, but it's been a
Has
tough
streaming video through the internet been
sorry?
looked at as an option? Streaming video through the internet been looked at as an option? The Time Warner has the internet capability.
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
I'm not a technical expert.
Okay.
All right, so you've got the franchise that, get it to Pam, and then we'll have to put it on the agenda
All right.
to do,
And if you can make that meeting on the 22nd?
okay.
And where's that being held again? Sir?
Buxton Town Hall,
Buxton Town Hall.
or Buxton Complex, Municipal Complex. Sure.
First thing I got is the Jellison Road. Can we change that sign on the Jellison Road to 25 miles an hour and put up a children slow sign? Joe Witten says they come up in his dooryard up there and turn around, and they're doing about 50 when they come up through there.
There's
That's a dead-end road,
What's the speed limit on there now?
35. I think we ought to drop it. We got 22 kids on that road. Okay? Now, as you know, I think I spoke to you people and told you that there's a bunch of trash up on the Chadman Ridge Road. I gave the slip to sheriff. The last time I talked to him was last week, and he says he's having a hard time chasing this gentleman down. But the lady's name that was on the paper that we gave him, that Tommy and I gave him, is the landlord, and this gentleman rents from her, I guess. A lot of that stuff came from her house on reconstruction. It's one heck of a mess. And I told him the other day, I said, listen, if you can't get a hold of this young gentleman, then I suggest you go to her and tell her to clean it up. It's terrible, I'm telling you, you ought to see it. There's well over a pickup load of stuff up there. And it's on private property, to start with. Okay? What do you think? Don't you think that she should clean it up?
I
'Cause
think
I do.
if we know where it came from, that's something.
Yeah, that's the thing, it came from her, some of it came from their property.
So the,
So,
anything else, Fred?
yeah. I was upset over the fact that I come in here today to get a purchase order from Pam, and I couldn't get one from her. You know, Pam's been a secretary for the Selectmen for how many years? How many years, Pam? 11 years. When Nancy gave the authority to Matt, which has nothing to do with Matt, I'm not against him either. I think she should have gave the authority to her. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that, because I think it should have been given to the secretary of the Selectmen.
Well, let me,
Am I right or wrong?
let me clarify this. Nancy didn't give the authority to anybody. This board gave the authority for Matt to cover for Nancy while she is out.
For what?
So, for anything that's needed that Nancy has to typically do.
Yeah, but the purchase order should have been given to her.
Well, it's, I mean, we certainly can look.
You gentlemen are wrong, how's that?
Okay.
You
We have-
are.
We
Telling
can,
you.
we can agree to disagree. But we have a
I disagree with you.
we have a purchase order policy that the town administrator administers, right? And in her absence, we have appointed, or not appointed, but had Matt fill in for those needs. So, we can agree to disagree, but that's kind of where we are,
When are
so.
you gonna get a hold of the sheriff and tell him to get that lady to clean that stuff up? I've only
We
got a
can-
few more days in this job, and
We
I
can-
thought it better be gone before I get out of
We
here.
can certainly pass that on.
I mean it. I picked up a pickup load off at Chapman Ridge Road this afternoon with myself.
Wasn't everything cleaned about 3 weeks ago for a brief period of time? That seems to be, that's always been a problematic area, but lately it seems to be even
There's
worse.
too many sidewalks off up there.
Yeah.
You can block them off, but they have a tendency to move in big rocks. Put the chain on them.
Rock's not big enough.
Wow, Jesus.
Fred, the change on the speed limit,
Yeah.
we'll need to go through that. We can't, kind of like a policy, right?
Yep.
So we'll look at that and
Okay.
look at what,
Because he called me today about it.
okay.
Yeah, well, one thing he called about was that bridge on M.R.S.A. Road, and I told him we'd wait till the 27th to see if FEMA will give us any help.
Yep.
So we'll
Okay.
do it.
Anything else, Fred,
No, I'm quiet.
for a few minutes? All right. Town administrator's report. Matt said he was not going to stand in for Nancy in the report thing tonight, so we'll pass that over.
He's gonna pick and choose now.
Any,
Didn't have any report.
he was so busy signing POs today, but, I'm sorry. The selectmen, anything from the selectmen?
I'd like to know if Fred finally did get his PO.
No, I haven't
No,
got
you
it.
got PO'd, that's all.
You're just still PO'd. Okay.
All right, committee reports. Chris, Economic Development Committee is on tonight.
All right, I'll be quick. I promise. All right.
That's Mike D'Angelo from Beach Boys.
Last time I was up here, I told you about our goals for 2010. We've been working on those goals, hoping to get them complete before the end of the year. Before I get started, I wanted to let everybody know that our committee for the summer months of June through September will be meeting on one day a month, on the third Thursday of each month, June through September, for the summer months only. Then we'll go back to two, I believe we'll go back to 2 times a month, the first and third Thursday of the month after September. Couple things that the committee is working on. We met with Brian Doyle from the Department of Economic and Community Development and Phil Savigno from the Maine Office of Tourism. Due to this meeting, the committee has developed a list of natural resources and tourist attractions in our town. The tourist department will help us with our next step to improve what we have in order to accommodate new visitors. What I mean by that, as an example, would be the beach at Ossipee Lake. Currently, visitors to our town can't go to that place and enjoy the beach area. We would, think about opening that up for visitors to our town. Our committee has put together a commercial property inventory report. This is it. Our town planner has a copy of this, and in the event that a prospective commercial investor enters Tom's office, this inventory notebook will be a key tool for Tom to have at his fingertips. We can link, what we'd like to try to do is link these properties with the GIS system in town, so I think that'll help him out greatly too. Our committee is planning field trips to other communities and successful companies in the area to see what they're doing well and what has worked for them in their communities. the committee has discussed and is researching a downtown revolving loan fund. This fund would help partner with businesses to promote development and possible expansion within our town from existing and new businesses. And our website, we've had discussions about the website during some of our meetings, and how can our website attract new investors and businesses to our town? What can we do to make it a friendly type of website that they can get a lot of information from and have it workable? And I think our website's pretty good now, but how can we improve it to make it even better? So there was some discussion about that. And finally, form-based codes. You know, we talked about what it is. We spoke about this at our committee last summer. Standish is really pushing to get this in play in their town. And is it something that our committee wants to present to the planning board and let them run with it and see what they can do with it? I think, you know, from my perspective, it's something that our town should really take a look at. And if you don't know what form-based codes are, you can simply Google it online, and you will see that a lot of the southern communities down in the southern part of the nation are using, trying to get that small town atmosphere back from businesses taking over. So something that we're going to continue to discuss. I received a DVD. Tom also has a DVD. I don't know if the board has a DVD of it, of the form-based codes that was presented to the Standish Economic Development Committee. I have one. The committee will be reviewing that. I recommend, if you want to know more about that, you go ask Tom to borrow it, sign it out, whatever, and look at it, because it's something that it's very interesting. It's certainly something we should, the planning board should probably take a look at. So we'll be talking more about that.
Can you give us 20 words or less of what form-based codes is?
Form-based codes, actually, if you are standing at the marketplace where Asian Taste is and the dollar stores, and you look back towards the milk room, all of the buildings are in line with each other. There's sidewalks. That is form-based code. There's a minimum setback from the middle of the road to the front of all the buildings that are along the side of the road. So what it would stop is, let's say somebody down the road, 5 years down the road, buys the 3 houses from the set of lights here down, the next 3 houses, and they take the houses down and they build this monstrosity of a building. Well, that would defeat form-based coding. Form-based coding would allow so many levels of a building, such a size, from a setback from the middle of the road. It allows for sidewalks. It allows for parking on the side of the road. When you add parking on the side of the road, anybody that's been in law enforcement, Gordon, you know, when you add parking on the side of the road, what does it do to the traffic? It slows it down. It automatically, it's instinctive. You slow down your car because you don't know if someone's walking around, a car's backing up. So it slows the traffic down. And that is, I mean, Fred just got done talking about speed in town. Speed on Route 5, going through the center of town here. You have tractor trailers going by my office at 50 miles an hour. I feel them when they go by. We need to slow the traffic down. Standish had that problem on Route 25. They got people going 50 miles an hour on Route 25 right through the center of town. And they're concerned. 3 years ago, they were at 40,000 vehicles a day that go through Standish. They're anticipating over the next 7 years to approach 60,000 vehicles a day. They have a serious problem. Now, do we have that problem yet? No. Can we have that problem? As some of the communities outside of Waterboro grow, we certainly will get that problem. So it's something we should think about now. And, you know, I've spoken with Tom. Tom's on the Economic Development Committee, and form-based codes is something we should just seriously take a look at.
That was a great 20 words, but I know a lot more than
20
I did
words is
before.
not enough. You
But-
can't do it in 20 words.
One of the things, though, that we're going to be dealing with very soon, that is appointing a comprehensive plan committee. And theirs the committee that you need to talk to.
Well, I
And
mean,
then, of course, Tom is.
well, the
working with it.
form-based coding is more of a planning board deal. But, you know, when you have the comprehensive plan committee working with the planning board and working with the economic development committee, then you got something there, okay? Because the comprehensive plan cannot start the form-based code talk. That's got to be the planning board. So we're talking about it now, but we're really just going to ask the planning board to do it. And just to take a look at it, is it something that they are interested in doing?
I'm interested in a little old business.
Okay.
Where do we stand with our signs, Waterboro signs?
Signs? I didn't think that we were going to talk about signs tonight.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, the signs are complete. The sketch is done. It is complete. It looks really good. Really good. I think when people see it, they're going to be pretty happy with it. I don't have one with me to show, but it takes into account all of the old aspects of our town. Old buildings, the churches, the water tower, and it really brings that sign to life. I think when everybody sees it, they're going to really like it.
I guess the next question would be, when can we have an expectation of viewing this
Your next
artistic piece?
viewing time would be at the town meeting.
Okay.
We will have something up at town meeting for everyone to see.
They're asking for money at town meeting, so my guess is that they will have something.
We're asking,
A reveal at town
to
meeting.
make sure that we understand that.
There'll be a grand
It's-
unveiling there?
So that everyone understands, it's not the committee asking for the money, okay? It's our town that is asking for the money. The money is not coming from taxpayers' money this year. The money was set aside in an account 20 years ago from sale of some of the property in Lake Arrowhead. And it needs to be clear that that's where the money is coming from. It was set aside by a committee for signs, 20-something, no, it was like 15 years ago. That never happened. For some reason, that committee fell apart. So the money was set there. It's time for the new signs. It's time to beautify our gateways into town. And there's no doubt, when people see these signs, they're going to like them. They're very, very nice. And there are no other signs in any communities in our area that look like this. So speaking for the committee loved the signs. They came out unbelievable. KL Design did a great job.
What are they going to be made of? How, the next thing is
They're going to be, the biggest sign is going to be 3 by 5. It's going to be made out of, wood, and they're going to be very colorful and some 3D aspects to them.
what about the, how's it?
The post?
Yeah, the post, is that wood too, or is that metal? or-
No, we're looking at granite post. The granite being that they last a long time, obviously. And we are getting a pretty good price on those granite pieces because we are buying them in quite a large amount. So it's all part of the price that we talked about. All of it there'll be 6 signs with granite post, and it's going to be less than $10,000. Now, part of that $10,000 is going towards beautifying the area around the signs. So there'll be some flowers. So we're going to make it real nice around those signs. The committee members are donating their time. KL Design donated their time to do this. There's 2 businesses in town that are making the signs. So the 2 real sign companies in town, they're getting the business, so everything is staying local. So a lot of people are putting a lot of effort and donating a lot of time, because if 6 signs don't cost less than $10,000 to do, they just don't. So just a sign alone is looking at $1,200 for 1 sign. That's before you get post or anything like that. So I think that people have come together in the town to get this done. I think once the town people at the town meeting see the sign, it's kind of a no-brainer at this point. Good question, though, Gordon. I didn't want to talk about signs.
Anything else?
All I do is talk about signs.
No, I was
Signs,
just,
everybody
I was just kind of curious, because I'm interested in making sure that when people arrive in the community, that they know where they are, and there's not, they're not kind of looking around trying to find, someplace to pull over to, in a store and say, what town am I in?
Well, and that's true. If you look down some of the roads now that have signs, they're either leaned over on the ground or about ready to go there. We're going to have pictures of what we have now versus what we could get. And I don't think there's any question. When How and How have a TV show and they show signs from around the towns where they were, and they're nice, we want that too. Because, that's, where are you going, where are you coming from? We need that. If we want people to come to our town, we want them to spend money in our town, they need to know where they are. And that's one way to do it. Any other questions?
So is there any reason why you can't change out that bid you got for the granite post and buy Maine granite instead of Georgia granite?
Maine granite versus Georgia granite. Is this something you know that I don't?
No, the bid you got, the one I saw in your minutes, that's Georgia granite.
We can certainly take a look at that.
I mean, there's plenty of Maine, I'm sure we can find,
For the same price?
well, buy local.
It's a
It
local.
is the Economic Development Committee, right?
And it is a-
What we do is buy
Do
local
you
granite.
have a suggestion?
I think we could probably find local granite.
Do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, no,
Okay, we'd love to hear it.
okay.
So our next meeting is coming up soon, we'd love to hear that. Tom, do you have anything to say about a Georgia granite? I wasn't aware that was a Georgia granite.
I thought it was actually from Quebec.
Were they going to truck it down when they went to Old Orchard, is that it, or?
Anything else?
Tom was going to get when we went fishing.
We're going to argue the virtues
Well,
of one
if we
granite.
can get Maine granite, if we can get Waterboro granite, we'll get Waterboro granite. Okay? I don't have a problem with that, I don't. So, I guess we will do some more work. We get a little more time to get Maine granite. Okay?
All right. Thanks,
All right.
Chris.
All right, thanks.
All right,
14 minutes, right?
Something like
No,
that.
8 minutes.
All right, let's go roll into new business. For those of you that have been following this a little bit, we have been the last several months talking about establishing a comprehensive plan committee, so-called the 2020 Comprehensive Plan Committee. We had a reception here a few weeks ago, one evening, and very well attended. Did a lot of review of some of the stuff that's been happened in the past, and Tom has taken the lead on that. Needless to say, we have now, I think, 8 applications in front of us to at least to start and get the committee going, so I guess I would ask the board what's your pleasure on the...
I would make a motion that we appoint Steve Eveld, Diane Holden, Roger Macumber, Kent Witten, Jack Seary, Todd Abbott, Robert Powers, and Sandra Burnett to the 2020 Comprehensive Committee.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
And I would say we're still looking for a few more.
Yep. All those in favor? Opposed? So be it. All right, discuss vote, pay as you throw policy. I'm going to default to John here. He kind of put the words together, and really it's nothing more that will go into the rules and regulations, but and I think everybody should have been in your packet. Kind of the aim of the Waterboro Selectmen to create a paper bag program for the disposal of household waste that reduces the town's waste and increased recycling materials. Fair to say to the taxpayer that does not cost families who are diligent in their recycling effort any extra cost for waste removal. Following regulations will apply for household waste as of August 1st. Household waste deposited in the Waterboro transfer station must be in bags and have the Waterboro permit tag attached. all households in Waterboro will purchase a 2010-2011 transfer station permit, which has waste pickup service that is deposited in the Waterboro transfer station. Receive 52 permit tags to be placed on individual trash bags. Bags of 40-gallon size and less will be accepted with a tag attached. Larger bags will require 2 tickets. Extra tickets may be purchased at the cost of $1 per ticket. So that is the proposal going forward, kind of the policy that we would adopt and add to the transfer station rules and regulations. I know the committee met and is already putting together different posters and whatnot, but ultimately, it's an effort to reduce cost at the operating cost of the transfer station. So,
I would have just one comment. I think we're creating a policy that moves on from year to year to year. So I would think we would want to remove the year, number 2, all households in Waterboro which purchase a 2010-2011 transfer station. I think it should probably be all households which purchase a transfer station permit.
annually.
And
an
annually, and then in the last sentence, will receive 52 permit tags annually to be placed on individual trash bags. I know some of the feedback that I got after our meeting last week was that as I've talked to residents about this, it's been my understanding that the tags were going to be issued annually. And I think that certainly there were some folks that picked up last week on the fact that then there was some discussion that these tags would only be the first time, and then after that you'd have to buy all of your tags. I support this only if it's annual tags. I think we need to make sure that we're very clear about that, and that that's what folks understand, is that this is going to be an annual process.
I'd be in agreement with Selectman Girard on that it should be annual. It should not be a one-time 52 stickers. It should be 52 per year. The other thing that I would like to see incorporated in there somehow is clarification on it's 1 sticker per bag, regardless of whether you're taking, and I'm going to be a little, I don't know if facetious is the right word, but if they're taking their trash in a sandwich bag or a 40-gallon bag, that it should be 1 sticker. You shouldn't try to break up your sticker in halves or quarters because you have a bag that's smaller than the largest bag that we said. If you have multiple small bags, put them in a 40-gallon bag and put 1 sticker on it. How we address that, I don't know, but unless we just simply say, 1 sticker per bag, period.
Well, this is, it says that all household trash deposited at the Waterboro transfer station must be in bags and have a Waterboro permit attached, a Waterboro permit. All households in Waterboro which purchase, we'll say, an annual transfer station permit, or which has waste picked up by a service that is deposited in the Waterboro transfer station, will receive 52 permit tags to be placed on individual trash bags. I'm not sure how much clearer we want that.
All right. As long as I just have had some feedback where there's been some discussion, and any time that you implement something new, I'm sure that there's always someone that can be ingenious and try to think of ways that may come to play, that they could circumvent the intent of the...
That will not, we'll see all kinds of scenarios played out.
And at this time, I would see keeping it as simple as possible, and then as we go along, it may need to have caveats in there too, because of people, as you say, people come up with a way of doing something the way that we don't wish to.
A novel counter approach.
Reread the part about pickup trash.
If
Read about permits.
transfer station permit, purchasing or which has waste pickup service, that is deposited in the Waterboro transfer station, right, will receive 52 permits.
Either or.
Right.
Is that what that reads?
It should say either or, you're right.
I'm
It
not
says,
saying-
it says or, which has waste pickup. So if I have my waste picked up by
X, Y, Z.
Gammon or Bowley or B&E or whatever, I still need to tag my bags.
Unless they take it directly to, Portland, then you're not gonna need to. But
So that's up to the hauler.
any a commercial hauler that takes the trash to Waterboro, they need to be bagged with Waterboro stickers. Waterboro, not stickers, Waterboro tags.
Tags. Okay? So we need to have the whereases and the wherefores put onto this so that we can create the official policy that'll go into the rules and regulations that... So I think that's really the only fundamental change, is we change it, take the year out and make it an annual permit. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Did you second that, Gordon, or?
Nothing's been moved or seconded.
Okay,
There's no...
I will move that we accept this with the change of the year, put in annual. Was there another?
And put, receive 52 permit tags annually.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, and the 52 tags annually.
It should be 50 or 55. You can do that. If it comes in 5, you couldn't tear them. That's crazy just to have 52. It should be 50 or 55, one or the other. Because they come in 5 in a row of 5.
Rolls are 5.
So
Would
you
you
made...
entertain an amendment to say 55?
We've been around and around on this one too, you know, and thought the 52 fits with the 1 a week, and we're not sure. Last night at the meeting, we talked of, I mean, you could have the tags on a sheet, which could be possibly duplicated very easily by running it the same type of paper through a copier and punching holes in it. You could make a bunch of those pretty easily. The other thing that we talked about last night a little bit was the possibility of using a sheet with you know, the stuff when you go cross-country skiing, let's say, or downhill skiing, and you get a ticket, and so you get a string that you put through a hole and
Let's not get into the details of how we're going to do this.
But I guess what I'm doing is get back to the 52.
So the motion was made
Anyway,
with
okay.
the 2 additions. You second that, Tammy Jo?
Yes.
Any discussion? Mike, you had your hand up.
Sorry to interrupt, Dennis. Thank you for recognizing me. I just don't want to see us get ourselves in a situation where we're fighting costs again by doing this quote-unquote annually. Are you locking yourself into a 10-year span here of handing out 52 tags? If you are, don't you feel like you're going to come back to this again and say, my God, here we go again. We're at $655,000 at our transfer station, and now either we have to, what? What do we have to do? And we can't do it?
Let me just say that, and I don't want to hang this out here as, you know, what's going to happen, but the board, and the reason that these are rules and regulations and it's a policy, is that so that it can be changed
Okay.
whenever the need drives it, okay?
Okay.
The fees that we charge today and the rules and regulations at the transfer station are reviewed on an annual basis, and if something goes nuclear on us for a price to get rid of, then we have the right to go in and adjust those kind of issues, right? We're not going to know what this is going to be
Right.
until we can get really a good year under our belt to see where we are, right?
Thank
I mean, if we can, we're talking about significant money. If we can move this to the extent that we did the last time, you know, there's another 50 grand savings and those kind of things. That doesn't count what we may have to, or what we would sell for tags over some period of time. So I think you're right, Mike, okay, does it tie us in long-term? The only ties us in as long as this board decides to keep it there, okay? I mean, that's
I'm
unfortunate.
hearing.
Now,
words like-
that may very well go the other way for a lot of people. Gee, they can change it anytime they want. Well, I mean, we do have that authority anyway
Yes.
to try to maintain what's going on at the transfer station. I think what we're saying is this is a push for equity, okay? If I'm bringing 20 bags to the transfer station, I'm paying the same tax rate that you are, and you're bringing one,
Right.
okay? And I think this helps drive some of the behavior to start recycling. So
I agree.
we will find out.
Thank you again for recognizing me.
Another reason for this too is to come up with this so that we could advertise and tell, and inform people how it's gonna work. So when we have this done, now we know how, we can tell people how it's gonna work.
Any other discussion?
I'm going to ask John if he wouldn't be willing to amend his motion to comply with what Mr. Lord had to say in terms of numbers.
No, I wouldn't, because the transfer station committee has been around and around and around on 55, 50, 52, and the last go-round, maybe David, you can, the last go-round was 52 because it was least ambiguous as to why we picked it. It's 52 weeks a year. And I think that's,
I brought that up at the meeting.
yep.
I thought they amended it to 50.
You did bring it up at the meeting, but I don't think it was, I don't think people bought it. Dave, do you remember on that?
We decided on 52. 1 week.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
All right, I was wrong, I suggested. I just saw different heads nod in the back.
I mean, it makes sense what Will has said, but the other, but you balance it off against the other piece too, 52 weeks, 52 tickets, so that's the way people kind of went, so.
Okay? Anything else? All those in favor? Thank you. All right.
I just have some housekeeping I need to take care of.
Oh, man.
All right, we met last night, and we're meeting again, Dan, next Monday night, May 17th at 6:30. Somewhere. Working on informational material and for local papers and handouts at transfer station. We need, we have asked for figures on how many residences, households in Maine, Waterboro. And I got a figure 2,700, Clint has got a figure 3,600, and somewhere in there has to be an accurate figure. Asking the board to request from Jerry the most accurate figure so we can work on numbers. A range of 900 really does not do a lot for what we're trying to do. So we would like an accurate figure of households in Waterboro, and if possible, that is year-round and seasonal. Another concern we have is rentals. There could be a building in town that has 4 or 6 rentals in it. We need to deal with realistic figures, and I don't know how to get them. Those are the 4 things. Information is going to be going out. We need accurate household count and rental count.
So, Pam, is one of our action items, if you can get a note to Jerry or request to Jerry to come up with a number, and for best that we can say is that's going to be the number that we work to, right? I mean, he's the assessor, he knows what we've got. Can't tell you whether, I don't think he can tell you whether each one is lived in today, but I think he can at least come up with a number that says this is the number.
Clint and I were just speaking with Jerry, actually, not to intrude again, Dennis, but his initial statement, I said, Jerry, how many houses in Waterboro? 2,700. Right away he said to me. And I said, Jerry, he's like, well, the problem is that bills go out, and that doesn't mean you live here,
Understand.
We've got bills going out to Mexico. people own homes, live in Mexico, in Waterboro. It's going to be challenging to certainly figure out who justifies a tag. If it's sticker-based, I don't see a problem with it. I don't think Clint necessarily does either. The logistics of it are going to be difficult. I think John makes a good point. We can make this work. Let it happen. You tinker with it. It's an equitable system. The hard piece, I think, as David just mentioned, is going to be renters and it's going to be seasonals. That's Waterboro, seasonal community.
We have that issue today with who gets a dump sticker and who doesn't.
Yeah.
All right? I would think that this will bring a little more fidelity to that, all right? Because we're gonna have to put a little more management effort into it, and we'll see where it goes.
Thank you.
Dennis, so wouldn't it be the same that anybody who is eligible for a dump sticker this year? So
Yeah, I mean, it's-
Clint must know how many dump stickers he sold in the last year. Why wouldn't that be a figure?
Well, you can double up too, right, Frank? You can carry
There will-
out
there
one,
will
I
be
have
no-
one.
There will be no double up here. I
Right.
mean, if a household has 2 vehicles and they want to buy a second sticker, that's one thing, but to say, I'm going to buy a second sticker and get another 52 tags, it's not going to
So we
happen.
can't tell how many primary stickers were sold?
Well, I would hope that he could.
But even if you did,
Can
then
you,
there's those
Clint?
people that are
Can you?
having trash pickup that need to
Tell
get
how
stickers
many are
too, so.
primary and how many
there's
are
more
secondary
people there.
stickers?
They're gonna be bringing it to the dump.
Yeah, if they're gonna bring it to the dump.
So I think the answer is yes, Frank. What's the fidelity of that? I think it will start to improve dramatically.
Come around and collect.
Okay.
They've never had to do it before. So they never had to-
Clint.
Can I answer his question?
Sure.
He and his wife both have different addresses. They're only gonna get one set of stickers.
Okay. So there you go, Frank.
There you go.
When the census coming out, census coming out, when they get a, have a,
Oh, yeah, if we ask that, yeah.
We will get some fresh data from the census.
Now, having said that, any any owner of property in this town, anybody who gets a tax bill, you're saying they are all eligible for stickers?
If I have 14 lots and there's no houses on it, I'm probably not gonna get stickers to haul to the dump.
Households we're talking about,
Household.
not lot.
I'm talking about household waste here, right?
Yeah.
So the guy that owns property in town can't use the dump?
Unless he's got a household.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
He can haul his non-household waste to the dump.
Can't do it without a sticker.
Or you can get a sticker for non.
Can't get tags for household.
Right.
Okay.
Anybody else want to throw a scenario out there?
You beat this thing to death already.
Let's see spaceship plans.
All right, we're going to move on to another not very controversial subject. All right, we kind of put this on there just to kind of stimulate some discussion. There's a rash of communities now rushing in York County as well as all over the state to say, we do not want a medical marijuana dispensatory in our community, right? There's all kinds of new illegal ones, right? Yeah, we don't have any choice in the illegal activity other than what hopefully the law enforcement folks are tracing down. But a lot of municipalities are putting in on the books ordinances that say there shall be no legal state-sponsored, I guess it's the state, right, Joe? You have to be licensed by the state and all of that. There is one zone, I think York County, there'll be one in York County? Right. So a lot of municipalities around us are starting to stimulate activity. So we at least teed it up. There's been 150 emails and everything else from different towns and different citizens and everybody else about, we're not going to allow this in our town, or are we? And so John doesn't, you know, if there's one in town, he wants to be able to run it. No,
Depends on the profit margin.
anyway, so You were going to say, John? I'm sorry.
Well, I guess, on this, I don't know, I guess it would be, I don't know how these things are going to be run and how controlled they're going to be. But if it's I guess before I jump on and say we shouldn't have one in town, I want to see that it may not be any problem whatsoever. It could be like an extension of a drugstore. But because it's a illegal drug in most cases, but that doesn't mean that a legal dispensary is going to be dispensing it illegally to people. If it does, then you don't want it in town. But if it's a totally legal operation, I'm not sure that it's going to be something that we should be afraid of.
I'm going to kind of, my put on this is that I really think this is similar to what, we have a sex offender ordinance, right? A lot of towns ran out, established sex offender ordinances. I think Joe certainly was a piece of trying to, there was a move on in the legislature to ban any municipality from having sex offender ordinances. I think the outcome of that was a law that was passed that had, a local municipality could have a local ordinance, but it had some structure in it. My guess is, as all of these start to go on the books, there will be an effort in Augusta to either minimize their impact or control their impact or whatever the case may be. So I'm not sure where that all comes or when it comes, but there certainly is a flurry of activity across the state to say,
Yeah, and again, I would like to see what these dispensaries, how they're run and how they're managed, and if it's, you have sex offenders, especially people who are violent, and you don't want them around. But a dispensary that is legal for people who have cancer or some other disease that this has been medically prescribed, whether it's in Hannaford, then it may not be any problem. If it's run illegally, then it is a problem.
how about the law enforcement side of the panel here?
I'm neither for nor against the idea of having a medical marijuana dispensary in the community. What I am against is we don't have any controls in place yet. So I would like to see some type of moratorium set so that gives this board the opportunity to make sure that we have a good plan in place on where these can be located, and rules just governing, the operation from a local standpoint. Because with any drug, even a legal drug, it can be diverted, as any law enforcement agent can tell you. Just look at the OxyContin situation that we're in now. So just because of the fact that something will become legal doesn't necessarily mean that there would be not illegal means for people to get it. So.
The diversion is the issue that I see there. So
And that's a nationwide problem, diversion of lawful pharmaceuticals into unlawful activities.
Tammy Jo?
My concerns at this point are all of the unknowns. This past, the state, I don't think, had a clear plan on how they were going to handle these dispensaries if this law passed. And I think that they've scrambled to try and put something together. So I don't think the state even at this point has a true grasp on how they're going to handle these dispensaries. My concern is that it's going to be like a lot of other state issues we've seen of late, where they've created this and then they're just going to pass it along to us to manage. So all of those unknowns make me very leery of being a guinea pig for how this program is going to work.
So,
Joe?
One thing I can do is get some additional information on this. My understanding is that, again, there are 8 dispensaries that will be permitted throughout the state. At this point, the application process for those dispensaries has begun. The application fee itself is rather hefty, which I think was a means to deter the frivolous from applying. I'll check with the AG's office in terms of the legality of municipal moratoriums. And also check with the chair of the health committee as well in terms of exactly how specific the criteria for selection is right now. What kind of resounds with me was some of the testimony that was provided at the hearing for this. Again, this was by virtue of a referendum that was approved beforehand. Then the state had to create the regulations after the fact. The director for the Maine Medical Association, when asked to how many people would you expect this would apply, and the panel was expecting numbers like 5,000 or 6,000, he responded about 1.3 million, because there's no specificity in terms of exactly what types of ailments could qualify for this particular prescription. My understanding is that regulations are in the works there as well. So check with the AG's office, check with the committee chair on health and human services, and get that to you.
Yeah, I think if anything, Gordon brings up a good point. Until some of this gets sorted out, it may benefit us to do something on a moratorium basis, but let's not do that blindly, I think. And if we can put some meat to that, then we go forward. So anything you could bring back to us, Joe, would appreciate it. Unless somebody wants to make a motion. Okay. All right.
Well, just to back up a little bit, what problems might we face if we don't enact a moratorium? Are we then beginning to be a potential candidate for the state to come in here and put one here if we don't have anything in place that says, whoa, wait a minute?
I would think not. I think the basic criteria will be, 1, a population center of some size, 2, central location of the town.
We get 2 out of 3 so far.
And, well, 3, the willingness on the part of the community. There's a
I think a willingness is a huge unknown. I mean,
Yeah, I would think that as the state moves forward here in adopting these, I think you're right, Joe, that somewhere there's got to be, is this a favorable, or, I mean, does it come down to a referendum in those municipalities that say, is it or isn't it? It's like, the Racino, right?
yeah, I think, I'm not against having a moratorium of some sort until the state has got it figured out. But again, this is, from what I see here, it's not a methadone clinic where you have heavy users that are coming by to pick up their prescription. It's people who are sick, supposedly, people with cancer and people that have anyway, and
But I think
that's doing a good.
But I'm not sure that that's been defined. To Joe's point is, some people feel they qualify for medical marijuana because they feel bad when they don't have it, right? So I don't know if it's that extreme to one side or the other. But if you got 1.1 million out of a state of 1.1 million that could possibly qualify, there's something that's pretty loosey-goosey, I would say.
And the other thing that you have to keep in mind is, at this point, marijuana is an illegal drug, and there are always people that are out there that abuse the substance and are going to be looking for ways and methods of obtaining it, potentially illegally. And one of the things that we don't have in this town is full-time law enforcement. And so I think that that's something that we need to consider as well, because a facility like that may, I'm not saying that it will, but it may create a need for a stronger law enforcement presence, and that's something that I think we have to think about as well.
Yeah,
All right. So
I think
we'll-
so. What we don't know now, we want to be cautious of.
All right, so we will wait to see what Joe can provide for us. We'll go from there. All right, old business. Get some pending invoices, and to be perfectly honest with you, I thought this had been resolved. I know that the call from the road commissioner back when these were first culled out. I think we're talking somewhere around $400 and some odd, Fred, for the total. And I'm not sure whether there were 3 or 4 of us here one night, but I know we had the discussion of, tell us what they were, because the first invoice was pretty nondescript. It was just an invoice. And I know that we had the discussion, what were the circumstances, put that in writing and send it in. So I guess the question is that it's been since March 15th. We move forward and pay them. I think the explanation is here, and it's signed by the road commissioner. So, what is your pleasure?
What, was this just routine maintenance, or was this for emergency purpose?
It was on, sanding on them icy roads. It's always been understood it was up to the road commissioner to use his judgment on roads, real bad, private roads and whatever. He has to get equipment in there.
Yep.
Somebody can't get out or something, I don't think that's being out of hand saying that, take care of it. I mean, it don't happen all the time,
Seems
You
to
get
me
a nice
that-
storm that runs for 8 or 10 hours, and you've got to run in there or something, well, you're in bad shape.
They're not all private roads. There were a couple of private roads mixed in here,
Yeah.
okay?
I mean, the thing that we talked about, I think a couple of years ago, was that if there was any kind of care to a private road for emergency purposes, it would be a dual decision made between the road commissioner and Matt or his designee. That it would not just be on the shoulders of one person to make that decision. It would be two people. And it would be, and so therefore, what we were doing by saying that is that if someone said, people on this road are getting special consideration for political purposes, it'd be harder for them to say that if there's 2 people making the decision.
Well, I think we established, I believe, a policy, and that was a couple of years ago. This came up, I know, in this year, in early March. We have an warrant article in this town warrant that still addresses this, even though, the state law is very specific that a municipality cannot spend taxpayers' money on a private road, but we have a vote of the people on an annual basis that say, in an emergency basis, we can go do this, okay? So,
We've done this for years.
the only thing that I see that there was a departure here is that we didn't get 2 people.
That's
It
right.
was the road commissioner that made a decision and called them out, so. But I thought, and again, we had this discussion several months ago now, and said, all right, it was a kind of a nondescript bill that came in, said that we did these roads, and we said, why? And Brett has forwarded in this back in March, so it's been sitting around, it got missed, or didn't get picked back up to pay, so. And I think it's, again, and the number's not here, but it was the definition, but it was like $400 and some odd and change, I think, that the actual bill was, so.
My only question was that it followed the town meeting vote, that it was emergency winter road maintenance. That's my only question, and if you're saying, yes, it was, Yeah, I have that.
I've got it right here.
Okay. All right.
I don't think that, because I see an underlying thread here, I don't think that it should be construed by any means that the board somehow, and maybe I shouldn't speak for the entire board and just speak for myself, that I don't question the judgment of the road commissioner. I think that he has, sufficient experience over the years that he can make a determination on whether or not a road needs to be sanded or not. That's certainly not the issue that we looked at. It was, as Selectman Gerard said, an issue of procedure, because as much as we would like to say, yeah, let's go sand every road, the chairman has indicated that, state law specifically prohibits using tax dollar money for private ways. And we just wanted to make sure that the criteria that had been set forth for sanding the road was, in fact, what was intended. And if it's the opinion, I would make a motion that if it was the opinion of the road commissioner, in this particular case, based on his letter, that these roads needed sanding, that, we pay the bill, but also to indicate that we really need to adhere to the policy, when future decisions are made, so that we don't run into this, again and again, that we get, as John said, two people, making the decision.
And, we make
is that your
policies
motion?
not for a road commissioner, not for Fred Fay. We make a policy for any road commissioner. So one road commissioner, he might say, I have a lot of confidence in his decision. The next road commissioner might not feel the same confidence. That's why you have these policies. And so that's the issue is Fred may feel really good about his decision, but we make it because this is for all road commissioners.
All right. So we got a motion from Selectman Littlefield,
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
Let me ask you a question. Have you heard how many poles are going up on Crocus Road? Have you heard about it?
I haven't heard at all how many actual poles are going in. I know that there are people up there that said there's been a mad rush to the town hall for building permits because there's poles going up, and that's absolutely not the case. There hasn't been one application made for, anything up there. But as to the specific number of poles, I can only assume, and I know this is going to sound comical, there'd be enough poles put in there for them to reach the top.
They said, I thought Alan Dyer told me, well over 30, 40 some poles.
I would guess.
Good God.
Good money in cell towers, I guess.
Well, that's on the town property, right?
Yeah.
So how much the town gonna get off that?
I can't remember the exact number, but it goes up as, they put on more carriers. But I think as a minimum is like 20-some-odd thousand dollars, right?
I think they're gonna start putting rebar in that base this week, or before that.
Yeah, they expanded the base, you said.
Yeah, they made it bigger.
Yeah.
They made it bigger and deeper. They weren't deep enough, they get down another 3 feet. But they had to haul a truck up in there yesterday morning to get him unloaded on his rebar. And then now they're ready to start going again.
Okay.
Do we
They
have
asked
an-
them who was gonna pour it, and they said either probably Dayton, but then they said Pepin, because Pepin has the front down. Them big mixers.
Oh, yeah.
And they can drive right up and down, and just back out of it. The way it is now, you gotta back all the way up in it.
Have you got the exact footage from where the last pole is to where they're going? So I would think that you'd divide that roughly by 50, depending on where your crossovers might be. There
Well,
might be
that's true
short.
too. That's true too.
And that'll give you an idea of the number of poles that you might have to put in, because generally the spacing between the poles, I think, is 50
What is
feet.
it, 250? What's the pole, what's the dimension between poles? 50?
I think they're about 50 feet between poles.
I don't know.
And it depends where you have crossover for a curve or a bend in the road or something like
They
that.
got a lot of work to do.
All right.
But somebody won't buy that property.
All right, committee involvement. I think we've been pretty well set. Is everybody good with that? We're gonna kill this, all right? Vote to sign warrant for the town meeting. We have a reduced size copy here. Full-size copies in them.
But then we all have glasses.
So, did I hear a motion?
You got it,
Second.
too.
Okay, I'll third it.
All those in favor? All right, it's in the packet to sign here tonight. That will be posted immediately, if not sooner, right, Pam? Anything else?
Is rumor true I hear, like rumors, that Willie will be signed, autographed in town reports at the town meeting?
He is autographing the town report.
Just checking.
Okay.
There'll be,
Stamp, I can stamp it.
Yeah, he has got a stand, and it's $1 a signature.
Original signatures will be worth much more though, huh?
I think
Okay.
you've scheduled book signings at other locations in
Bring your
town.
baseballs in.
Right. Warrants and bills of payroll.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, discuss, vote, sign minutes of 4:20. I'm going to take these one at a time, because I'm trying to remember who was here, who wasn't here.
I was here at all, so.
4:20, Gerard, Gordon,
We were all
a little
here.
bit, we were all here, so. All
Second.
all those in favor? All right, meeting minutes of 4:27.
So moved.
Second. I was here my birthday.
All those in favor? Opposed? Meetings of May 4th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, that solves that, doesn't it? We voted on one the other day, but nobody made the motion, so we were a little ahead of ourselves. Pending decisions. We will not have a second executive session this evening. Pending decisions, staff training policy, Nancy is handling that. Map 41, lot 13.
I'm going to be going there this week, I think, with Bob Gobiel, and we're going to be measuring out. And has anybody got 100-foot tape?
I don't, we gotta have.
Yes.
You do you?
Oh, yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so you can grab that, that would do it.
I've got one in the back of my truck right now.
Oh, do you? 100-foot tape?
Yeah.
Huh. I was going to ask the state police to come down with a laser.
Oh, yeah, that's
Map
always
it
good
out.
too.
So, well, they can map out a whole accident scene in, minutes.
All right, week action list, Time Warner Cable franchise, we need to get probably posted, right? On the packet side or whatever, then no sense of making, we're gonna kill a few trees if we make, how many copies of that? I don't know. Guess we need to find that out, right?
There's no place for signatures.
May want to just touch base with Tony. Pass on I think Sean has the name of this trash disposer up on the Chapman Ridge Road. He needs to kind of, I guess, default to the landowner if we're having trouble tracking down the trash thrower. You're going to request from Jerry for the Transfer Station Committee a specific total number of households. And then, I guess the moratorium, we're going to kind of wait on Joe. Items for next week?
I'd like the lot thing moved up to the
Okay.
agenda for
So we'll
Next
put,
week, our public hearing.
we do have public hearing next week?
Public hearing on referendum question.
Right, so there'll be three public hearings, opening bids.
It starts at 6 and you
Okay,
just go
all right.
through them. Opening
So,
insurance
in
bids.
as old business, we'll just do a recap of map 41, lot 13. And as usual, something will come up this week.
Are we gonna look into Jellison Road as well? Reducing
We
the speed
need to,
limit?
yeah, Pam, Jellison Road, speed limit. Can we kind of just pull out all the speed limit ordinance thing that we got, so. And there's probably a whole list of other roads that ought to be, but I'm not sure what putting a new sign up does. They don't seem to obey the 35-mile-an-hour signs today, but.
Well, it allows the deputy to take some
Yep.
enforcement action, go sit up there. And
Is there a sign?
You
It's
get
35 right
people
now.
going 45 through there, when there's a 25, you can nail them.
All right.
$185 fine.
Items needing signature, warrants and bills of payroll, all of the minutes, warrant for town meeting, there's a corrective deed in here, journal adjustments, liquor license renewal,
Probably gonna be on next week.
okay, next week. Reminders, road review committee tomorrow night, 6 PM, planning board tomorrow night, 7 PM. PSA on referendum questions, we're going to meet up to Saco River Community TV at 6 PM tomorrow night. Candidates night, 6 PM Thursday night. Bob is all set.
Yes.
Old Home Days Committee meeting, Thursday night, 7 PM. Taylor House Committee, 7 PM at the Taylor House on Thursday night. Water District Trustees, Monday night, 6 PM over in the Town Hall, 12-town group in this room at 6:30 PM. Selectmen's meeting starting at 6 PM. The Library Board of Trustees will be reporting next week. We will have 3 public hearings for the 3 referendum questions. Those questions are, number 1, to do with the capital monies or the bond monies that were raised for West Road, the excess monies that were saved. We will be voting to reallocate those monies in question 1. Question 2 is, shall a charter commission be established for the purpose of revising the municipal charter, establish a new charter? And question 3 will be, in fact, the article relative to the pay as you throw, pay, tag a bag, whatever you want to call it, okay? So those 3 public hearings will be held on Tuesday night, starting at 6 o'clock. I think we've allotted a half hour for each. Oh,
Nancy, have you
okay.
posted
Just starting at 6, we'll do them all as they come, all right? That all being said, I would entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe.
I apologize. Can I have the opportunity for a quick public service announcement?
Yep.
Make it quick. I received from the Pine Tree Legal Associates a brochure, and I made a number of copies of this and gave it to Nancy Johnson. It's about foreclosure prevention. And the title here is, Don't Wait, Get Help Now. I'm dealing with a couple situations right now where the situation has gone too far down the road to really make a positive difference. However, if individuals out there feel that they may be getting in trouble, there are a number of folks out there, a number of credible individuals for them to contact and get some assistance from. Mainly the Maine Bureau of Consumer Protection. There is a foreclosure diversion program now where there is a certified mediator appointed to a person to guide them through the process so that some sort of a repayment option could be negotiated as opposed to loss of the home. York County has 2 fine people working on this, Chris LaRouche and Jen Gordon. And all I ask is if anyone that needs this type of assistance, contact Nancy to get a copy of this. Please contact me. I've got the phone numbers of the individuals that I mentioned. And my number, 318-5943. Or to call the house, 499-0104. Okay, thank you very much.
Do you have another supply of those?
I will get some for you.
I work for the Civil Division, outside of this, and I have a lot of dealings with
The,
foreclosure aspects.
Nancy,
I'll
or
get this one.
Nancy or Pam or somebody can burn copies of those, Nancy J. can.
Thank you.
The phone number and stuff would be nice to throw up on the
Yeah.
screen somehow too. I don't know if you can do that.
I bet Dave can.
Okay. So that means, that's, Joe's got the numbers. I would now entertain a motion.
And I will move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Thank you.